Yes people, what is good? I am BA, back once again with another reaction in the Wire series. This is episode 2 of season 5 and it is called Unconfirmed Reports. First episode of this season, of course setting the groundwork for the whole season ahead, introduced us to all those new characters in the newsroom whose names I don't have down yet, but basically showing us we're going to be focusing on the newspaper side of things this season, which is quite an interesting premise. And the main thing to come out of that so far was they printed the story about that drug dealer who the council bought the property off him at a loss and then gave him a new property quite cheap. So that drug dealer made $1 million in cash and got a nice big new property. And that lady councilwoman who wanted to be mayor, again I don't have her name down, her face was plastered all over the front page right next to that story, and she was not happy about that shit. How this is going to affect the larger scheme of things and Tommy directly, I'm unsure yet, but it certainly doesn't make any of them look good just now. Bubbles is attempting to keep clean and is back living with his sister. I believe that's the same lady we saw in either season 1 or 2 when he was attempting to be clean, when he was at his sister's house. So he's back there. McNulty is back. Well, McNulty is back. I don't even need to continue that sentence. He's back to the McNulty he was in the early seasons. Kind of strange, to be honest. I don't know what his character arc is trying to do at this point. Is it just showing us that, like, some people never change? I'm not exactly sure what where they're trying to go with it, but it's certainly a disappointment to see him treating Beatty like shit and he's now drinking and womanizing again. This dude just cannot not fuck up, unfortunately. And due to Tommy turning down that 50 million, everywhere is suffering. The major crimes unit has essentially been closed. Lester and Sydney got moved over to start studying the Clay Davis case, and everybody else got disbanded, so Marlowe essentially has nobody watching his movements just now, which he'll be fucking loving. But yeah, as always, I cannot wait to get into this shit. This is episode 2 of season 5, Unconfirmed Reports. Let's check it out and see what it's saying to it.
Gave myself all these little rules about what I wouldn't do. Like I told myself I'd do a lot of shit to get high.
This is the girl that went into the bodega when Marlowe's guy was selling heroin out of it.
I'm never gonna go with more than one guy at the same time, and well, let's just say there are certain things I told myself I wouldn't never do.
I mean, you didn't have to go with the threesome story as your way to dissuade everyone, but you took it there, and I respect that. You could have just talked about the time you shat yourself once or twice, but no, you went straight for the getting banged from both ends. I hope the heroin was at least good.
We got finished a little early. Anybody else feel like sharing?
I like that they gave this guy a role in the show. I do know he's a real life recovered drug addict, so it's cool that they gave him a role in the show. Again, another layer of authenticity to The Wire, constantly getting real people in this show.
I'm a grateful addict. Been clean 15 months Thursday.
Yes, 15 months. I didn't realise it had been that long. That is fucking awesome. No wonder he's looking so good and like he's got rid of all the sores on his face and all that shit.
Doing the dope fiend lean, right? Be like this here.
Actually, Bubbles did very little of that dope fiend lean. He was always pushing his trolley about, being the industrious dope fiend.
Just let it get high.
The guy's like, alright, stop talking up all the good shit, Bubbles. Get to the horrible shit to drill the point home to the rest of this group.
Keep coming back, Bob.
You know what? I couldn't give a fuck he didn't want to talk about it to the group just now, because the fact that he's already announced to them he's 15 months clean is all they need to hear. And it's all we need to hear. That's fucking incredible. I just hope he remains clean. This is the final season. This is his last chance. Please keep clean, bro. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this season's theme is really dead. That beat is just made on a MIDI keyboard in 2 minutes. I expect Ja Rule to come in with a verse on this season's theme. What would that be without a garden? The post-it board has become increasingly more boring since they've started chasing the money rather than the street guys. It used to be a colourful thing with loads of pictures. Now it's just statistics and figures with Clay Davis at the top. Not that I don't like seeing his fucking face on the board. He should have been there seasons ago.
You'd rather sit in a surveillance van days on end waiting to catch Tater handing Pee-wee a vial?
Lester makes a fair point there. Sounds pretty fucking boring.
Career case, huh?
Baby, I could die happy.
I suppose, yeah, it's such a significant one, it would make your career if you managed to take down a state senator. Also, it's nice to see Lester back in a suit. I was worried in episode 1 we were just gonna see him in fucking, you know, varsity jackets and shit for the rest of the season. Would have been very out of character.
But what about cameras?
Nothing since the camera we took out the wall back at the place.
Marlowe must be finding this hard to believe, like what, they've stopped watching me? But I'm the fucking Don. I bet he's more offended than relieved.
We go hard at Webster Franklin's crew. Gave him a chance to get on a tit, he passed. Now we bang on his corners a couple of times till he fold.
Now you talk.
Marlowe is just back on his warfare.
And I want that dick sucker. He took my money and the whole world know.
And he's still got Omar in his sights. Oh shit. This is one thing I was unsure about. Like, will Omar make it out of season 5? I'm not convinced. I could see Marlowe killing Omar this season, unfortunately. I hope it doesn't happen, but I could see it happening.
What up with that thing down at Jesse?
Yeah, you on the list. Going down there anytime you want. No problem. That's the dude right there.
So he is going to go talk to Sergei. I'm assuming he's just trying to get closer to the Greeks. I don't think Sergei will tell him nothing. Like, he can't do nothing for Sergei, can he? To my knowledge, there's nothing he could do to lighten his sentence, so why would Sergei tell some random dude he's never met anything? Unless he threatens him with, like, jail assassination or something.
Making people laugh. But in between all the jokes, there's a lot of truth to be spoken.
I knew that's what that guy wanted. He was like, look, cut out the fucking comedy act and make these people cry, Bubbles. They're not here to laugh. They're not here to be jovial. We're here to terrify the fuck out of them.
I'm not talking about the meetings. I'm talking about where you go after the meetings. I'm talking about what you do, what you think, what you feel.
I do like this guy's character, but he was coming across as very overbearing there and attempting to steer Bubbles' train of thought. Not that, like, if you're in a bad place, that ain't a good thing, but Bubbles seemed to be in a good place and he wanted to take himself into a bad one. If he's 15 months clean and jovial, that's fucking leave him where he is, bro, trust me.
Wasn't my call to suspend the investigation, Jimmy. That decision came from your shop.
Yeah, but nobody from the SA's office objected, did they?
You would have thought that they would all know at this point that this has all trickled down from Tommy trying to corner cut. McNulty should have known this by now, I would say.
What the fuck chew on Ronnie's arm, huh? She ain't the problem.
Tired of being jerked around.
Ronnie is certainly not jerking you around, McNulty. Not anymore, in any way.
There you go. Giving a fuck when it ain't your turn to give a fuck.
Pissy little bitch today.
Today? He has always been a pissy little bitch, you know. I've lost so much respect for McNulty just off of the first episode of this season. I hope he turns his shit around and sorts his head out. He needs to go back to working the beat. This department is not good for my man's mental health. He's not having the best day, is he? I wouldn't say it warranted that shit, you dumb fuck. Break your fucking toe like Aragorn in Lord of the Rings.
Whoever I leave behind as mayor, Bond, Campbell, or who knows, they're going to have a better time of it.
See, again, what a selfish comment. Like, he doesn't want to do good and then have to pass over his mayorship to someone else who then gets to inherit the good numbers. Such a selfish comment.
You look like a petulant little bitch with that diatribe on old Lesker.
You look paranoid, too.
What about his failure on slots?
With the Democratic Assembly, everyone expects the GOP governor will take his lumps.
His goal is to find something to go after the governor for. Wasn't that his plan after 2 years? I swear he's literally just in office. He shouldn't be breaking the governor's balls just yet. This could end very badly for Tommy if he starts barking up the wrong tree.
My desk wants to know. So finally, Tommy Del Santo, he puts his ear down his desk like this, he says, my desk tells your desk to go fuck itself.
I bet they didn't print it, but I would have bought that paper. Man's desk tells newspaper's desk to go fuck itself. Front page. Photographed with a burnt baby in the foreground.
You know who there's less of? Statuesque blondes. You don't read about statuesque blondes in the newspapers anymore. Buxom ones, neither.
No, it's just the descriptive language of a blonde has changed from the way she looked to more information about what has actually happened. I don't think you could get away with describing a woman who's been through a severe incident as a buxom, statuesque blonde.
Okay, now I've seen everything.
Hobbling off the bus. It's so weird. In season 1, McNulty suited his suit and I thought he looked weird when he started wearing beat cop clothes. Now, he looks weird to me wearing a suit. Something's changed in you, Jimmy.
67-year-old female, mother of 4, grandmother to many, lived alone.
She's smothered with a pillow. That's fucked.
Mornings with a hangover, I hold the pillow over my face. Just to keep the light out and the pain down.
I bet you do, Jimmy. That doesn't mean she wasn't murdered, though.
Sunday, my Sunday dream.
Does Lester have a miniatures magazine? Wow. I didn't even know there was that big a market for that shit.
To defend the school system, but a lot of things have failed those kids. They're marginalized long before they walk into class.
I agree with David Letterman.
We need to limit the scope, not get bogged down in details.
To do what? To address the problem or to win a prize? I mean, what are we doing here?
Look, Gus.
Okay, so Gus to me seems like the guy that's going to pick apart the inherent flaws of the newspaper room. Just like there was always someone in all the previous seasons picking apart the inherent flaws in all these other things we've focused on, such as the schools and the docks, etc. He's the Bunny Colvin of the newspaper room.
I think the schools are ripe for exploration, and I think Scott might be the man to lead the charge.
Well, there you go. Fuck you, Gus. This detective work looks boring as fuck. Lester made such a good point to Sidner. Like, just sitting in your car like that all day. Jesus Christ. How long until you turn the gun on yourself and report your own murder? Oh, has he actually got some sort of exchange going on? I thought that was Chris and Snoop. I thought Lester was strictly going after Clay Davis now. That's good he's still watching them though.
I just want to check on the port story. I think I might transpose some numbers.
Andy, can I get port back?
Yeah, sure.
It's mad to hear the port getting mentioned again. Hold tight to docks. The legacy of Frank Zabotka lives on.
Heard you were working murders again.
How's life in the county?
Worse every year.
I don't think I've seen this woman before. Did we see her in earlier seasons? I believe she's a new character.
They can't tell that it's post-mortem?
On a fresh body, no one can. Grab a guy too hard and you can cause petechia, break a hyoid, even leave bruising.
That is a really fucking slack body recovery if they did all that damage to his neck post-mortem. Surely there's got to be some truth to what the first nurse was saying in this scenario. That seems like way too much negligent damage. They should be fired from their jobs if they did that shit. What is Marlowe's game plan gonna be here? I'm so curious as to what his strategy is. Oh fuck! Avon the Don! What is good, my brother? I've missed Avon so much. I thought we'd never see him again.
Surprise. My man Sergey thought we should talk first.
Oh, so he was expecting Sergey. This is even better.
Here, I'm what you might consider an authority figure. You know, everybody got to get my help or ask my advice.
This is so good.
Over West Side, everybody know everybody, right?
Marlowe looks quite uncomfortable.
You trying to get to the Greek motherfuckers because if you can, you want to cut Proposition Joe and all them other East Side bitches out to connect.
That's exactly what I thought was his strategy.
I say let bygones be bygones, but fuck all them East Side bitches. That's just the way I feel about it.
I'm not sure if I believe Avon. I don't want to believe Avon anyway.
Send my sister 100 large. And the next time you come to Jessup, it won't be my girl talking at you.
It's so weird to hear them talking cordially for a brief moment. That was so good to see Avon. I genuinely thought that was his character written out of this show. That was such a welcome surprise. Looked nothing like the photo. Sergey has changed.
2 weeks. 3 the most. That's all this fucking case needs.
Daniels can't give us that. He made that pretty fucking clear.
Yeah, there's no chance of getting extra money out of Tommy just now, unfortunately. Where the fuck would they go for that money? They could extort Clay Davis for his already corrupt money to finance them going after Marlowe. That would be interesting.
Then on steroids, which is destroy what's left of baseball's credibility. Fuck baseball.
Guy in the middle knows the deal. I swear one game takes like half a day. You'd be in that stadium half of your day. You have to have some attention span of the gods to watch a baseball game right to the end. I'd have watched the baseball game back in the 1913s or whatever it was when Arnold Rothstein had it fixed. That would have been interesting.
Don't grab stuff off my plate. Mommy's gonna whip you. Do you need some help here? Because we don't do that here.
Please, that woman came over and fucking got her told. That kid can't even pronounce sentences and she's threatening him with an ass kicking. What a bitch.
Sorry I'm late. Traffic's a nightmare.
Ah, they're gonna ask the FBI. Right, that makes more sense.
You guys still don't...
That's the first time I've seen McNulty laugh all day. Now, if I was that guy at this point, I would drive away. 3 times you're taking the piss.
22 murders doesn't rate?
Not anymore.
You were on it more than a year. Where were you?
Too close to quit.
I do like this guy, and he does still owe them from the second season when he was getting all his shit read by the Greek's informant.
We already did all the long legwork. 2 or 3 weeks, you guys end up with a big headline. You federal fucks like headlines.
I'll run it up the flagpole.
I hope he pulls through for them, because I do think they're right this time. I think a couple weeks with some good surveillance, they might actually get something on Chris and Snoop, especially since Marlowe's just given him like 3 separate orders.
Well, what's with his parents? Why wasn't he in school?
Well, in the city, he just cut.
So what about his parents?
Both dead, no shit. He lives with his aunt in West Baltimore.
How'd he get in a wheelchair?
Do I know this kid from another season? I don't think I do. Thank God it's none of the kids we know.
It's a hell of a case, really.
God knows they could use the help.
Oh, what will he say? He seems like he's gonna go for it. That's cool. The feds don't fuck around as well. They'll do a good job, generally.
Everything we can before we get to Clay and the people he keeps close.
You think Clay knows the indictment's coming?
Clay Davis has been waiting for the other shoe to drop his whole life.
It's a good point. He's got one big shit queued up in his system for the day it happens.
It's a new mayor, a new state's attorney.
I'm out there doing the Lord's work for you, Irv. You know it. Who got that pay raise through the council?
He always gets wobbly voice preachy when his back's against the wall, does Clay. He gives a good panic speech. He did miss his calling as a preacher.
I'm gonna remember this moment, Irv. I'm gonna hold on to this moment. Yeah.
I don't know what Clay Davis could do to get back at him, but if he can do anything, guaranteed his petty ass will do everything he can.
And that's what the numbers bent as far as we dare. With City Hall asking for clean stats. There's only so much we can do.
The hell are we gonna tell the mayor?
So I take it the numbers are down across the board. Nothing is looking good for Tommy just now. He should have taken that governor's fucking money. That is infuriating. He turned down 50 million and just let his city go into disrepair.
Right now, you forget about shopping this case anywhere. DEA, ATF, Customs, you guys are shut out across the board.
What? I thought the head of that department was gonna go for it. Fuck. Well, that sucks.
We're going to give good play to a 13-year-old known only as EJ who declines to give his name because he skipped school. He's got no parents. He lives with his aunt.
Is it a made-up story? It sounds a bit fictional at this point, and in fact they can't find him.
Jim, aren't you just a little bit concerned that we don't even have a last name for this kid? I thought we held ourselves up to
It's not an ideal situation.
So Gus is clearly more concerned about the legitimacy of the articles compared to everybody else. We saw him in the first episode reject that for photography work because there was the burnt doll in the foreground, clearly staged. And now he's a bit angry because he feels like this story may be somewhat embellished without pictorial evidence that the dude even exists. And I rate his stance on it. You need people like this out here policing shit because the media is already in the worst state it has ever been in right now. So anybody in the press doing things like that is a good thing. Not again, McNulty. Fucking hell. If you're gonna be like this, just break up with Beatty. Clear your conscience, would you?
No art of the kid.
None.
I mean, this isn't to say he doesn't exist, but it really would make you question whether or not he did.
You don't ever want to be the last man to a party, you feel me? That's why I show up to a job an hour before.
For a murderer, Chris is a hard-working murderer.
No matter if he said it or not, people think he said it. Can't let that shit go.
Why not?
That's fucked, so even if he didn't say it, he's getting killed just because people have said he said it.
Why does boy gotta get dead just for talking shit?
Cause he got a big motherfucking mouth, that's why. And you need to stop running your own mouth, youngin'.
I agree with Michael in this circumstance. I think Michael, for the first time, has seen a weakness in Marlowe in that regard. Dude can't even have a bad word said about him. I thought he was about business. Petty bitch, really. Snoop for sure has the worst pre-assassination walk. She definitely looks like she's up to no good.
Bunk's usually the one throwing up. You took aspirin?
6.
What are you doing to yourself, McNulty? He does not look happy from returning back to his old ways whatsoever. Oh, it's a kid, that's fucked up. I'm pleased Michael's starting to see how fucked up this is. He does not look happy about having done that job. I love that we see that Avon sort of has control of this prison. At least he's doing his thing in prison.
I don't need money. I don't need fucking canteen. I don't need you.
Nice. I hope Sergei sticks to this stance. I don't want to see Marlowe get anywhere with the Greeks.
If you don't want to see me, you won't. But if you do, it's you that made it happen.
I don't like Avon doing this West Side team shit. I hope he's doing it fakely and has a larger plan for Marlowe. I hope Avon can still get Marlowe killed in some way. Fuck this guy. I'm starting to think Michael is some secret son of Avon's or something. I would love that.
I don't care if it's in these rooms or not, but there ain't no landing the cut on the shit. You gotta step up somewhere.
Bubbles is still in recovery, and I think that guy should ease off him a bit until he fully feels comfortable being clean. 15 months is a long time, but it's still not quite enough for someone like Bubbles not to have a relapse.
Unless the shooter put a bullet in her head for good measure after the shotgun.
Also, 2 of our street cameras were disabled.
Spilled her guts with a body shot as well. That's fucking grim. So not only did this guy get shot just for talking shit, but his girlfriend got shot for absolutely nothing just for being a witness. At least he didn't kill the kids.
Call DSS. Now.
And there was another kid that ran down the street. I wonder where the fuck he got to. This is so dark. Fuck Marlowe for being this petty, for real. I don't even blame Chris and Snoop because they're just mindless yes men. They haven't not done a single thing they have been told to do since we saw them from Marlowe. So I don't blame them. This is all Marlowe's pettiness.
Call for a crime lab?
The wait's 2 to 3 hours.
Shit gets worse every day.
There's been a lot of random dead bodies this episode.
Get yourself a coffee. The paperwork, get back on the street. We got it from here. We're gonna wait on him anyway.
What is McNulty thinking? Does this guy have marks around his neck as well? Someone just getting someone high on heroin and then strangling them? Oh my god, are you shitting me? That is a severe alcohol problem McNulty is developing if he's got a fucking whiskey in his boot he needs to routinely go back to. Well, Bubbles is doing what the guy suggested he do and contribute a little bit. I don't know how he feels about it, but he's doing it.
Just watch the door, Bunk.
Shit.
What the fuck is he doing? Falsifying evidence at a crime scene? What the fuck is he doing?
You lost your fucking mind.
This seems very out of character for McNulty. Is this one of the reasons people disliked Season 5? Because this seems to go against what he stands for, kinda. Not that he stands for a lot, but he certainly stands for more than this. Oh my god!
Christ, you sick fuck.
Oh!
Are you shitting me?
There's a serial killer in Baltimore.
What the fuck?
I'm gone. I don't want a part of this.
Yeah, it's a very wise choice by Bunk. I do not know what the fuck has gotten into McNulty's head to make him think this shit was a good idea, but fuck this. I'm so happy Bunk was just like, no, this is too far for even me, I am out of here. I've never seen McNulty do this in 5 seasons. This seems like such a strange move by McNulty. Why would he do this? I'm sure there's some motivation to it, but this just isn't how he would do it. Okay, and that was episode 2 of season 5 of The Wire, Unconfirmed Reports, and I will be back in just a minute with my thoughts on that. So, Unconfirmed Reports, what did I think of that? There was a lot of things I really liked in this episode. It was one of the better episodes, maybe even in comparison to some of the ones last season in some ways. But there was other things that I found just really weird, namely that last segment. Really out of character for McNulty to do that. I mean, let's just talk about this first. What's his motivation for it? Is he going to try and pin the serial killer stuff on someone else just so he can get back at chasing Marlowe? I just have no idea what his game plan would be to do that. Either way, even though McNulty hasn't necessarily been a man of principle in all aspects of his life in previous seasons, he certainly cared, or perceivably cared, about justice and upholding what he felt to be the right thing to do, and this clearly was not the right thing to do under any set of circumstances. Regardless of how poor his decision-making skills and judgment are while he has had a drink, I don't think it would push him to do that. Really strange of McNulty to do, and I've got so much respect for Bunk for just throwing his hands up and being like, nah, this is even too far for me, bro. This is some fucked up shit. I'm out of here. Gotta respect Bunk for that. Maybe this will make sense in the next few episodes or something, but right now, I've just got like a bad taste in my mouth after watching that scene. It just doesn't seem like something Jimmy McNulty, the Jimmy McNulty we've known for 4 seasons, would ever do. Back in the newsroom, Gus was annoyed because Scott got his story printed in its entirety without even getting a photograph or a full name of the boy in the wheelchair who was the centerpiece of the story. Got put on the front page as well. I understand why Gus took such a hard line toward that, because if that in any way gets proven to be false, how shit and illegitimate is their paper gonna look when their front page article was some straight up bullshit? The chief editor, or whoever that guy was, really liked the story, ran it front page, no questions asked. And by the look on Scott's face, something tells me that Gus's suspicions were correct and he wasn't fully honest about exactly what happened, if not completely made this shit up. We saw for the first time Michael start to clearly not be for a decision made by Marlowe, and it's the first time we've seen him almost be like, this is what you guys do to Chris and Snoop. He didn't say that, but he said it all with his looks, and I completely understand why he would be feeling like that. What a pointless guy to kill just over some hearsay. It rings back to when Marlowe had the security guard killed, again just for talking shit, and I like that although Michael sometimes sees justification in murder, he's also not just a cold-blooded killer like Chris and Snoop are, and in that situation was like, is this really justified? This seems like some bullshit. Hopefully Michael will have an arc this season and turn a corner against those guys. I want to see Michael at least walk away from these motherfuckers. He's not cold-blooded like that. He can pretend to be cold-blooded like that, but deep down Michael's got a heart. And I've only ever seen Michael go to bat for things he felt was right. And he clearly knows deep down that there was something really wrong with what they just did to that dude, just for talking some bullshit. And I think he also saw a huge weakness in Marlowe he had not yet seen, with the pettiness of it being about just some hearsay about the guy calling him a cocksucker. Also, this is 2 episodes in, and we haven't caught up with Randy yet. I just hope we do see him before this season finishes, and I hope he's at least doing his level best to get these dudes off his back in the group home. Maybe we won't get to see him again, but I would like to see him have some sort of resolution to that story, because it really didn't end on a good note for Randy last season, unlike Namond, who I'd be happy if we don't see Namond again, because he's chilling with Bunny Colvin, he's fine. But yeah, at least show us a scene of Randy winning over the guys in the group home, or some shit that would cheer us up a little bit before the end of season 5, please. And this is also the first time I've seen that recovering heroin addict be quite overbearing towards Bubbles and demanding more from him. To me, Bubbles' struggle has been so extreme. 15 months off heroin isn't quite enough time to start telling him how he should be helping other people. I think he still really needs to make sure he has helped himself and does not relapse before you can start putting additional pressures on him, and that was the first time I saw that guy, who I've liked up until this point, do that. But he seemed to be stressing out Bubbles by adding additional responsibilities to him, when Bubbles should just be focusing on keeping clean just now, in my opinion. He did take the guy's advice and was cleaning shit at the soup kitchen or wherever he was, but still, he did not look happy about it. And when he first went into that group and was telling stories, he was just trying to make the rest of the room laugh while telling them all how long he's been clean for. Now, he's not trying to scare anybody else into being clean, but at least how happy he is with himself should be encouragement enough for other people to want to get clean. They're like, right, I used to see this dude slumped out looking miserable, now he's happy, cracking jokes, I want to try that. But it wasn't good enough for the guy that runs the group. We'll see how that plays out, but yeah, if I was that guy, I would ease off Bubbles a little bit, because that's the type of shit that might make my man relapse. And out of nowhere, like a shining light in darkness, Avon Barksdale reappeared and sat right across from Marlowe. That was so great to see. I also loved how they'd set up like, boom, Avon fucking runs this prison. If you ever want to talk to Sergey, you're gonna have to be really nice to Avon. And yeah, he got his sister another 100k, and on top of that, he set up the meeting with Sergey and Marlowe, but the way he was almost like over the top with the boom boom, west side and all that shit, it makes me think, does Avon have a secondary motive here? Is he in some way gonna exact some revenge on Marlowe? Because oh my god, that would be fucking so good to see. Marlowe's obviously just trying to cut Prop Joe out completely and get a direct line to the Greek. That is something I do not want to see, or at least not at the cost of his life at some point during this season. Please do not let Marlowe win the Game of Thrones in The Wire. But yeah, I mean, thank God, at least Avon is still calling the shots behind bars. That warmed my heart to see him smiling and doing good in the prison. And he won't be out in too long a time. You know, in the showtime, he's only got 5 years to do, and then he's back out. Maybe by the time he's back out, Marlowe would be dead. That would be great. But if Avon was doing that West Side Brotherhoody shit on a serious level, again, it would be incredibly out of character for him to do so toward who was his rival and he was about to go and kill before he got arrested. It just doesn't sit with me. He has to have something else going on, some ulterior motive. And I hope we get to see more of that next time, because I would love nothing more than this season ending with Marlowe, Chris and Snoop getting fucking beheaded. Regardless, aside from the McNulty thing, which was just weird and out of place, I did really enjoy this episode, and I am looking forward to seeing what happens in the next one. If you've liked this video, click like, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, ring the bell to be notified as to when they drop. If there's anything you want to talk about, comment down below, and share this around to anybody you think that might appreciate it or want to watch the rest of this series along with us. My Patreon link is down in the description. If you become a patron, you get access to my blog, polls and posts. You get access to these reactions I put on YouTube a month and a half early, and you also get access to full-length versions of everything I react to on YouTube. So consider becoming a patron, it helps me and the channel out so much, and until next time, I have been BA, peace.